start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Gina, which category would you like?
Entertainment news.
OK, entertainment news. The answer is 50 nights. What is the question?
Is it how long does it take me to successfully build an IKEA wardrobe?
Is it if an MP spent one night in a hotel, how many nights would he claim for?
Is it how much of a start was Stephen Hawking given at this year's London Marathon?
Oh,
And so it begins! Just so it begins!
The show has been going 10 seconds.
Is it how many late shifts would you have to do at B&Q before you came to dismiss life as a grotesque pantomime?
Is it dogs often go to fetch help when their master is in trouble? How long would you have to be lying dead before your cat gave a shit?
How long has Jackie Smith's husband been sleeping in the conservatory?
Is it how long would it take Nick Park to film a Wallace and Gromit porno?
Is it...
I like that. Only working at night. How long did it take Lady Gaga to perfect tucking her penis between her legs?
Is it the number of nights that Michael Jackson was going to play the O2 Arena?
It is, of course. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Danny. The question I was looking for was, how many nights was Michael Jackson due to perform at London's O2 Arena before his recent death? This is the news of the King of Pop. The news of the King... You have heard this, I presume, somewhere. This is the news of the King of Pop. Michael Jackson is dead. The 50-year-old star died suddenly following a cardiac arrest and was just weeks away from his This Is It tour in London. His death has left millions of fans in mourning. One devastated fan said, "I was at Disneyland when I heard he died. I didn't want to believe it. It was only when Mickey Mouse confirmed it to me that I accepted it."
People reacted to his death very differently, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, like Jermaine Jackson was on the news saying that he wished that he'd died instead. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And I reacted differently. I wished that he'd died as well.
There are, now that he's dead, 13 singles in the top 40. So the Spice Girls, they know what they've got to do, don't they?
When they found him, they said that he was face down on the floor next to the bed, and they didn't call an ambulance for 50 minutes because they just thought he was looking for the other glove.
It can't have been easy, though, for them to actually work out he was ill, can it? Because let's face it, he's been looking pale for 20 years.
Yeah, but come on.
I genuinely think the symptoms of a massive cardiac arrest are more than... You're looking a bit pale there, no?
You seem to forget. We're forgetting, though, that the guy was a genius. Like, he wrote some of the best records of our generation. Thriller, still the best-selling album
I think you'll
of all
find
time.
Glenn Miller wrote some of the best records of my generation.
OK, of my generation. But, no, the guy was a genius. I mean, what black man can produce 3 white kids? It's amazing. Frankie's got a better chance of being their dad than Michael.
You're right, though, Jim.
If that is the case, they're in real trouble.
Yeah.
A choice between Michael and Frankie.
Sorry, kids, a bit of a change of location for you. You're going to live with Uncle Frankie now.
What, after staying with Michael Jackson? It's all got to be up from there, hasn't it? Do you know the weirdest thing about Michael Jackson? I didn't even know this. He was a Jehovah's Witness. That's like the least weird thing about him. I bet when he went to the Jehovah's Witness meetings, they pretended not to be in. Michael, turn the telly down.
Isn't it odd that Michael Jackson's dancing deteriorated as he got whiter and whiter?
What will the film industry be waving goodbye to this week?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, yes.
The last instalment of Harry Potter.
Yes, when's the premiere?
I don't know.
It's tonight. You're the one who answered the question.
Well, that's what the story, darling. Well, it must be this week. It's the Deathly Hallows Part 2, isn't it? Is that right?
I've not.
No, you don't know. Why don't we discuss it?
Yes, it is. But
The audience know more than we do.
I've neither watched them nor read them. This thing is passing by.
I've read them all.
Easy.
But the Deathly Hallows wasn't in 2 bits. It was in one massive book that stretched from here to here. And I read it to my son every night for 6.5 years.
I haven't actually read any of the books, although I watched the films with the subtitles on, so I've technically read them all. There was an interview with Daniel Radcliffe, though, and he was talking about the fact that he's teetotal now. And he started getting into the whole partying and drinking and all that when he was 18, and now he's already given all that up. And one of the things they asked him was, what advice would you give to yourself as a younger man? And he said, don't try too hard to pretend to be something you're not. Which is a very odd thing for an actor to say. You know, I mean, he's not a fucking wizard. You know?
Daniel Radcliffe has £48 million apparently in the bank, but he has said it's not for fast cars and hookers. Yes, it is. What are you going to do? Is that an institute? What are you going to do?
Stop now as well. I want to see what the next stage is, because they've had them at school. I want to see them now, like, gap year. I want to see Harry Potter doing his UCAS, because I know even though he did all that stuff, it still would have got screwed over by UCAS. I mean, oh, yeah, you've defeated Slytherin, you've won the Quidditch Cup 4 times, but unfortunately you didn't do D of E, so you can't come to Birmingham Polytechnic. Everyone gets screwed over by it. Some people that didn't get into their first choice universities.
There's some truth.
Yeah, he's speaking your truth, isn't he? No one here had a clue what he just said.
What's DOE?
Right?
DOE, Duke of Edinburgh Award, where you have to be racist to someone.
Next topic is Britain's Got Talent. Frankie.
Yeah, I actually watched this series of Britain's Got Talent, or as I think it should be renamed, How Bored Are Britain's Women and Homosexuals? Susan Boyle to me looks like Gordon Brown playing Mrs. Doubtfire. She was on Oprah Winfrey in America and they subtitled her. And people in West Lothian, where she's from, were absolutely horrified, as many of them can't read. She says that she's never been kissed, and on that evidence alone, Scotland's alcohol problems are not as bad as first thought.
Who was covered in mud last weekend?
Anybody who was at Glastonbury.
People at Glastonbury generally, yes.
Glastonbury is always criticised for every year. They say it's very muddy and it's too middle class. That's what they say, isn't it? It's like
yes.
World War I, sponsored by John Lewis. That's what...
Tricky dilemma now, though, isn't it? You know, for middle-class people, or do you go to Glastonbury or do you go to Wimbledon? And they're obviously very similar things now, aren't they? Because both of them feature a lot of Brits who are out of it on day one.
I saw U2 on there, and they were terrible. They were terrible, because they put me off of going to concerts forever. I went to see them at Wembley, and Bono keeps saying, "Come on, join in, you know this one." And,
The many voices of Mickey Flanagan.
Do you know, he went, "Come on, you know this one, don't you?" And I'm standing there, I'm thinking, I paid 25 quid to get in here. You're getting about £250,000. You sing the song, Bono.
I have a newfound sympathy for the people of Nigeria now.
This is absolutely true. Years ago, I was 16 when I first went to Glastonbury, and we thought we'd do the whole thing, right? Me and my school friend, we thought, let's try and buy some old wacky-backy. We bought an OXO cube. we smoked it anyway. We thought, sod it, let's have a go. It's quite nice, beefy.
Did anyone go along? Was anyone in this?
I'd rather eat my own poo.
You possibly would have done if you'd gone to Glastonbury.
The idea of spending 20 days in the
My mate came back, he said he saw one of the saddest things he'd ever seen. He looked down into the toilet trench, and there, laying in the poo, was the thickest pair of glasses he'd ever seen in his life. So someone had gone to Glastonbury and gone, Oh, that's... Oh, Christ. Is that Bono up there? Yes, it is. You know this one.
Have you found what you're looking for?
You've gone. You go to this, don't you?
I've missed out this year, but I believe you and I have both
We
been there.
met, yeah, in that one 24-hour period where I went to Glastonbury back, and every year I celebrate it when I sit at home and watching the telly that I'm not sitting there knee-deep in mud listening to the Dandy Warhols waiting for them to play their one hit. And making the best of it. Oh, that's that then. Arctic Monkeys are on in 4 hours.
I don't think that was the Dandy Warhols, but it doesn't matter, mate.
Hang on, what's that? Who's... Oh, that's... Oh, yeah, you're right.
I think you're trying to do Chelsea Dagger there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, who was...
For tellies, I
For
think.
tellies!
Yeah.
Oh,
that's why you didn't enjoy yourself.
I
You was
give it-
there watching the Dandy Warhols going, I don't know any of this.
At the front of them going, that's not us, man. Play that one! Play that one! Any request? Yeah, the one that goes, with the wrong band.
Do you know what Michael Eavis said? He basically said it was too middle class and he blamed Kate Moss. Kate Moss smokes 80 a day, drinks vodka from the bottle and comes from Croydon. If she's middle class, Jordan is aristocracy.
How has Blue Peter managed to upset the Tories this week?
Have they changed their name to Red Peter?
They have not.
Have they not?
No, they have not. No.
Is Connie Huck...
It is Connie Hook, yes.
does she hate him? I don't know.
But she didn't hate him. No.
Yeah, I tell you who doesn't hate Connie Huck. Hey, Dara.
She's a good girl.
Hang on.
Don't mess with the hook.
What does that mean? Do you fancy her?
He dresses up as her. I've seen him do it. He dresses up as her. I've seen him.
winks at you.
Kids TV kind of thing, and I quite like... she's getting dissed at the moment.
Then.
Yeah.
I'm just saying she's...
He loves her. He loves her.
No,
Look at him squirm.
Have you ever met her, Dara?
I've never met her. No.
Is your-
I'm clearly
Would
not
Would you
going
like
to
to
happen
sidle
now.
up to her and say, here's something I made earlier?
Dara, does your wife watch this?
Yeah, but she doesn't watch Blue Peter, so I'm all right.
Sticky back plastic.
That actually is just a Blue Peter term. It had no actual gag there. So no, sure it did. You might as well just have said "shut the dog" at that stage.
I mean, essentially, she publicly expressed an opinion about cycling, which, as far as I'm concerned, she's allowed to do. At the same time, in the same room, the Mayor of London said the Tories were a bunch of bastards, which also he's allowed to do. What's the problem?
The problem was that the Tory councillor believed that was in some way showed that the BBC and Blue Peter were endorsing Ken Livingstone's push for a Lord Mayor of London next year. Do you know the way that Blue Peter viewers, who are aged 8 and 14, are big voters?
Some of them are 8, some of them are 14, some of them around about 35.
35. Don't mess with the hook. The subject is clubbing. Who wants to talk about that? Myers.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you can all tell I'm a bit of a clubber. Nothing I like more than getting down to the local hotspot and shaking the old batty and ting, a bit of shawaddy-waddy. Don't mind if I do. No, I have tried nightclubbing. It's not really my thing. I'm a bit too delicate, my system. I was in a nightclub recently. A fellow young raver danced up and shouted, "I'm loving it, loving it, loving it!" I replied, "I'm finding it all a bit noisy, finding it all a bit noisy, finding it all a bit noisy." People jump around like crazy in those places. At one point, my cup and saucer was knocked clean out of my hand. I was on the dance floor recently. A lot of my fellow young ravers were blowing whistles, so I joined in and gave a bloody good pop on my bugle. Unfortunately, that meant half the Bosworth Hunt came charging in across the dance floor. Hounds mistook 3 of the ginger students for foxes, and there was a hell of a mess. Thank you very much, Master.
Whose number is up this week?
It's Carol Vorderman.
It is, of course, Carol.
Yeah.
Silly old cow.
Yeah, basically,
She got paid £900,000 a year. The people that won Countdown got a T-shirt and a dictionary. And she's only there because old people find it comforting to see the same face. I think, should they be comforted? I'd like to see the person picking the letters dressed up as Death. I'd have liked her to have stayed on, but just in a sort of couldn't care less, half-hearted way.
Yeah,
you've got to get 10,000 with a 5, a 7, an M.
They should just be shuffling around in a dressing gown, just swigging from a can.
She imagines she's indispensable. Oh, they'll never be able to find a younger woman who can use a calculator.
Can I just say that I once got into a lift with Carol Vorderman, absolutely hilariously. I got into a lift, Vorderman was already in the lift, and she was at the numbers. And she was actually at the numbers in the lift, and she looked at me as if to say, I'm in control of these numbers. Where do you want to go? And I think if you can't make a joke at this moment in life, you're in real trouble. So I just went, I'll have one from the top and 5 from anywhere else.
And you got trapped in a lift.
I thought it was sad that they gave her 48 hours to sort of stay or go. Surely it should have been 30 seconds.
The only woman on television who has actually an easier job is Deborah Meaden, who is the woman on Dragon's Den who never invests any money in anything.
She's got no money.
Sits there. She's poor. They just use somebody. And she sits there with the prop money, looking at it, going, "I wish that was real. I have no money at all." And every week, all she does is just go, "That's a stupid idea. You've insulted our intelligence. I'm out."
The best bit about Dragon's Den is when they wheel on the genuine lunatic. Hello, dragons. It's about time bumblebees had slippers, and you're sort of sat there going, "Oh Christ, that's someone's granddad," and yet you can't not watch it because you know he's been in the shed when I'm a millionaire. These bumblebee slippers, granddad. You haven't got a saw.
The thing about Countdown is, should we be encouraging old people to do more word puzzles? Could they do more word puzzles? And, you know, they can't remember their grandchildren's names, they can't remember their grandchildren's birthdays, and yet they'll spend 3 hours a day doing anagrams based on cheeses of the fucking world.
Do you know who I was really panicking now? Because Des is gone and now Carol's gone. I reckon Dictionary Corner are shitting themselves. Do you think they're unionised?
I think they'll be very pleased to be unionised because it's in fact a 9-letter word.
It was...
That's quite good. That's brilliant. That's good. Why have BBC subtitles come under fire this week?
Because they're wrong.
They do tend to be... Why do they tend to be wrong, though?
Well, the reason that subtitles tend to be wrong, often they're typed live by people who make mistakes. But I don't know if you've ever typed when the telly's on. It's very distracting.
They were saying, weren't they? They're blaming it on this voice recognition software. And one of the examples was pigs apparently like to nibble anything that comes into their sheds, including wellies. That's what was being said, and it came up on screen. Instead of wellies, they like nibbling willies. That has nothing to do with voice recognition software. That is somebody taking the piss in the BBC subtitle department.
Yeah, there's any number of these. The Labour leader Ed Miliband has complained previously that he's been referred to on the subtitling as the Ed Miller Band. Viewers were so surprised to see that the famous religious leader visiting a local town was, in fact, the Archbitch of Canterbury. Call this a church? I don't think so.
I saw that one come up.
Yeah, instead of crossing itself.
Ain't no bitch become priest in my church. The most famous example was during the Queen Mother's funeral, when what should have read, "We'll now have a moment's silence for the Queen Mother," read, "We'll now have a moment's violence." I love the idea.
Just get it out of your systems. Just hit whoever's nearby. Just that's all. You get one slap. One slap. That's all you get. It's what you would have won. Buff.
They can always use the deaf subtitly people, the deaf signy people.
You were doing that. I genuinely didn't know you were doing that.
People who are now going deaf signy people in the corner.
They're just doing that, are they?
No, that's deaf a blur, essentially.
I don't know if there's any version of the show that goes out late with signing. I have no idea. Maybe you can tell me. That'd be lovely. Please let that actually happen. What might we be tapping our elbow? Excuse me, I'll do it again. Excuse me. Why might we be tapping that, for fuck's sake?
Never see the subtitles coming up at the moment.
That's it. You and me are through. It's entertainment.
I was watching Blue Peter the other day, who's a neighbour with really bad circulation. I said to him, Peter, why don't you get a pacemaker? He said, I can't even run, let alone keep up with someone. I was watching TV the other day, and I flipped over, and all I could see were the brown cushions on my sofa really close up. You have to be careful watching television. You think to yourself, that bloke's better looking than me, he's got a better car than me, and he's got a cat called Jess. My favourite film is the French film And. I think it was released over here as E.T. You have to admire people who go into the performing arts. They have to do exercises every single day for their future careers. Big issue. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Robin Jones. The answer is 25 in a row. What is the question?
How many green bottles are standing on Charles Kennedy's windowsill?
Is it you've just been picked up whilst hitchhiking? What's the last thing you want to hear the truck driver chuckle as he nods towards the 24 empty rucksacks in the back?
Is it how many times has Dara O'Brien cracked one off on Blue Peter?
It was unfair to draw her into a political battle.
Obsession with the woman or something.
Can a man not form an unnatural attachment to someone they've never met on the television without it resorting to masturbation jokes? He's just made a little shrine.
Very little shrine. And can I point out, stop writing Dara fancies Connie on a piece of paper. Okay, here we go. The first subject is deleted lines from a fantasy film.
I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn, the heir to Isildur and part of the Fellowship of the Ring. Please leave a message after the tone.
Ron had been suffering from swine flu and people were avoiding him. Luckily, he was ginger and he was used to it.
I don't know why you're so upset, Harry. The original Dumbledore died 3 films ago and no one gave a shit.
Did you find Narnia in the wardrobe? No, Edmund. We found your porn stash.
My friends, we will never hear the word Mordor again. Taggart has been cancelled.
No, Harry, it's not a 5-headed dog. It's girls allowed. Me.
I am Aslan, formed by the merger of Asda and Matalan.
We had only been there for a day, but to us it felt like 15 years. That's Birmingham.
Did you honestly think I could be defeated by someone younger? I am Arlene Phillips.
Welcome to Mordor, twinned with Swansea.
This will never work, Frodo.
In the wardrobe, we found a magical compartment that led to the Fritzl family.
He stole it from me, my precious... Oh, no, it's in my pocket.
You all right, John? How's it going, all right? Yeah. How's the kids? All right? See you later.
I'm not a dwarf, I'm a lesbian.
The next topic is on lighter things to hear on a TV talent show.
Tonight, I'm going to be climbing a step ladder.
You're right. I can't sing. Thanks.
I'd like to dedicate this song to a friend of mine who was run over last week and is in hospital. The wheels of the bus go round and round, round and round.
I've got an ability that no one on this planet has. That's Ant, that's Dec.
It was like Elvis was in the building. You're fat and there's a stench of death.
Well, Peter, it's not what everyone would call entertainment, but you are one hell of an assassin.
I thought you hit the high notes really, really well. Be interesting to see if you can still do that when I haven't got your nuts in a clamp.
Hello. Where's my double act partner? Oh, he's in here. Feeling nothing more than feeling. Trying to
When you said you were going to ride a donkey...
Yes, I have been on the show before. I was once trapped in somebody else's underpants, going, feeling.
That was an exceptional performance, and the way that you have overcome your blindness is truly inspirational. But this is a chip shop, the X Factor audition.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think you're all terrible, OK? All of you, you're completely dreadful. I don't know what you're doing. Especially you, Hasselhoff. What have you done since Baywatch?
I think you could go the whole way. And if you do, I'm quite likely to put you in the final.
I know you said you were a Gary Glitter tribute act, but we weren't expecting you to do that.
Yeah, I'm Tom, and this is Dave, my dancing guinea pig. Play the music! Play the music!